Ooh, what's up, everybody? My name is OMG WTF LTWBRB. Welcome back to the long-awaited return of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, the Invasion Series, Season 2, the brand era. Call it what you want. We're back, baby. It's been quite a long while here, and the only person to blame is yours truly. I've just been busy. There's really no excuse. I've been wrestling a lot, I've been working a lot, I've been relaxing a lot, I've been going to the gym a lot, I've been smoking a lot, but what I haven't been doing a lot of is recording, and I apologize to you guys for that. But before we jump into the episode here today, I know you guys have been waiting. You've been waiting way too long. I do have one thing I want to get off my chest here, and that is what we're looking at right now. I'm sure many of you know by now that I am on the road to, well, not WrestleMania, but to Wrestling Glory. I don't know what the word is. I'm trying to achieve the dream that achieve the dream. You can tell it's been a while since I've done this. I'm trying to achieve the dream that I'm sure many of us have. I have started my professional wrestling career. I've been about doing it for 5 years now, and I officially have some merchandise available that you can purchase if you would like to. This is only, of course, if you guys do. I figured I'd mention it here just so people know. I know a lot of you have asked about in the past, you know, my professional wrestling journey and whatnot. And I do, or I shouldn't say I do, but I am going to be actually making a separate YouTube channel, just kind of where I can upload my matches, maybe some commentary over my matches, promos, such and such like that, maybe make a commercial for the shirts. So I am going to be doing a separate YouTube channel for that. I have not created it yet, but once I have created it, I will let you guys know, and you can go ahead and subscribe to that if you want to as well. But I do have merchandise available. Unfortunately, no OMG WTF LWBRB merchandise. I might actually consider making that, though. If you guys would are interested in some merchandise for the channel, maybe comment down below, and maybe we'll get to work on some of that. But I do have some merchandise for my gimmick, my wrestling, and you can go over here to storefrontier.com/RetroRockstar. I'm going to put that in the description as well if you want to go ahead and click that. We've only got 2 shirts available right now. We've got the basic logo shirt here, the Retro Rockstar logo, Stevie Ray Pim, for $20, and then we have the Retro Hero shirt, which is kind of a Guitar Hero art style. Both front and back. Unfortunately, I can't show you the back right now because I'd have to click on that, and honestly, that would lack the video out. It would just take way too long. But here's the front. This one's a little bit more because it is front and back, but only $25, $5 more. And if you guys are interested, you can go ahead and support the Retro Rockstar himself, Stevie Ray Pim, baby, and go ahead and buy some of that merch. But let's go ahead and transition to OMG WTF LWBRB here, and let's get into Monday Night Raw. We just had SummerSlam, a huge pay-per-view event, and a lot of things happened. Undertaker defeated Kane. We saw Kane get unmasked. I'm not even sure if we're going to see Kane here tonight. Goldberg defeated both Rhino and Stone Cold Steve Austin in a triple threat match to earn the number 1 contendership to the Undertaker's World Championship. I wonder if we'll see those two interact tonight. Hulk Hogan defeated Triple H, and Triple H is no longer a part of the WWE. He's out of here. It was loser to leave the WWE, and Hulk Hogan was the winner. All that and more tonight on Monday Night Raw. Let's stop wasting time. Like I said prior, you guys waited long enough. Let's get this started. Possibly. All right, we do have a pre-show matchup. I'll be quite honest. I'm not sure if this is the main event of the pre-show or not. 19,028 people in the TD Garden. Pre-show matchup, Lufisto defeats cheerleader Melissa in 8 minutes, 17 seconds by submission. Melissa with an in-ring performance of a 24. Lufisto with a 46. No worker improvements as we move on to our next segment. Okay, so no, there is this I'm assuming will be our pre-show main event. Solid 61C here as we get a pre-match promo with Gregory Helms and Molly Holly before their match against Mike Maverick here. And then we go into said matchup, which gets a 38D minus rating here. And an abysmal pre-show matchup. Gregory Helms defeats Mike Maverick in 2 minutes, 59 seconds with the Vertebreaker. A pretty rowdy crowd, of course, all over the case of Mike Maverick here tonight. It's a shame for Mike, but what did you expect? We already know about the excellent chemistry, not only between Helms and Molly, but Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler. Mike Maverick with an in-ring performance of a 3. That might be the worst one I've seen yet. Helms with a 52. All right, so we open up Monday night. No, we don't. To my shock, there is one more pre-show matchup. 55 C- rating here, and a pre-show bout that had terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Damn Nation. Ron Simmons, Reverend Devon, and Rodney Mack defeated Ray Steele, JJ Perez, and Larry Destiny in 11 minutes 46 seconds when Rodney Mack defeated Ray Steele with the Tiger Bomb. And another thing that happened on SummerSlam that I also forgot to mention, the tag team titles are on the line. It was the Dudley Boyz versus Damnation, and Reverend Devon turned to God and helped Damnation, of all teams, win the titles, and is now going as Reverend Devon. Anyway, pretty vocal crowd did not seem particularly thrilled to see Rodney Mack wrestle. So unfortunately for our Mack here, they are still heavily against him. Ron Simmons shown in this matchup. The great performance of Reverend Devon really stood out. Larry Destiny had an in-ring performance of a 19. JJ Perez with a 15. And Ray Steele with a 17. So Larry Destiny, who I believe is you, was the best in-ring performer in this matchup. Or I should say for his team, not in this matchup. Rodney Mack with a 50. Reverend Devon with a 75. And Ron Simmons with an 80. Rodney Mack is improving in his flying. I guess that's good. I don't know if I'm really going to use that, though. Moving on to, finally, we open up Monday Night Raw with just a quick little SummerSlam recap video here that gets a 76 B- rating, just recapping pretty much everything that happened at SummerSlam, but especially the triple threat match between Stone Cold, Rhino, and Goldberg. The loser leaves the WWE match between Triple H and Hulk Hogan, and of course, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship matchup between brothers The Undertaker and Kane that saw Kane get unmasked permanently. We then move on to a 74 B- rating here as JR and the King announced the 2002 King of the Ring participants on the Monday Night Raw side here. So King of the Ring is our next pay-per-view, and since this is the brand era, both Raw and Nitro are going to have stars in this King of the Ring tournament. Our first ever crossover pay-per-view between the two brands since the brands have started. And the following participants from Monday Night Raw in the King of the Ring are as follows. Bradshaw, Vampiro, Albert, Mark Jindrak, X-Pac, Kurt Angle, Rob Van Dam, and Shawn Michaels. Unfortunately, I did not make this a minor storyline, so this did lose heat for some. But it did get the King of the Ring storyline started, so I guess that's a plus. Moving on to our next segment, we have a 100 A-star rating. After the SummerSlam recap is over and color commentary is done going over the King of the Ring participants, Goldberg, his music hits, and out comes the new number one contender to the WWE Championship. Goldberg makes his entrance, and JR and King, of course, go into a little bit more detail about the triple threat matchup that we saw at SummerSlam between Goldberg, Rhino, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Once in the ring, Goldberg asks for and receives a microphone. How the hell is everybody doing tonight? Yeah, I'd say I feel just about the same. In case any of you missed SummerSlam last night, and I mean I'm sure you've all heard the news by now, but not only is Triple H's sorry ass no longer in the WWE, but Goldberg beat both Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rhino last night, thus leaving those two behind me and moving on to the WWE Championship. I mean, it was only a matter of time, let's be honest. So that brings me to you, dead man. Look, I don't give a damn about your issues with Mr. McMahon. The only thing that I give a damn about is what you have, and it's what I want, and that's the WWE Championship belt. So honestly, there's really only one thing left to say, Undertaker. You're next! Goldberg's music hits. Just a quick little promo here for Goldberg acknowledging the fact that I'm done with Stone Cold. I'm done with Rhino. Those two are behind me. Undertaker, I know you got your issues with Vince, but that don't matter to me because the only thing that matters to me is that you're next, and the thing that's on my mind is the belt around your waist. So a quick little segment for Goldberg to get the crowd ready for the show. Goldberg was a real star in this segment, gained heat for the storyline as well. As we move on to our next segment here, 75 B- rating as JR and the King just go over a little bit more tonight. The Undertaker, the WWE World Champion, will speak tonight on the unmasking of his brother, his issues with Vince McMahon, and possibly Goldberg. And the question is on everybody's mind. We once saw Stone Cold take on Goldberg at WrestleMania, and he lost. Stone Cold then took a bit of a sabbatical after losing to Goldberg at WrestleMania. Well, after losing to Goldberg once again at SummerSlam, will we see Stone Cold show up again tonight, or is Austin going to take another little bit of a break? Guess we'll find out. No worker improvements here as we move on to a 64 solid C rating. I'm assuming we're back from our commercial break here as the WWE Women's Champion, Trish Stratus, has joined commentary for our next matchup, which will be a #1 contendership for her championship. All right, 61 solid C rating here for our opening matchup on Monday Night Raw. It is Jacqueline versus Lita versus Jazz, the same three women that Trish defended the championship at SummerSlam against each other. Take on each other tonight in a bout that had decent wrestling but little heat to it. Lita defeats Jacqueline and Jazz in 13 minutes 15 seconds when Lita defeats Jacqueline by pinfall after Lufisto interfered. What the hell? Lita having to cheat a little bit. I mean, I guess we can give her a little bit of leniency here, given the fact that she's in the ring with Jacqueline and Jazz, who are both a part of Damnation, despite their issues, though. I mean, they seem to be having a little bit of problems there, but Lita having her protege, Lufisto, help her win this matchup, it's very unlike Lita. Anyway, we already know about JR and Jerry Lawler working extremely well together at the announce table, but did you know that the King, pervert that he is and all, worked extremely well together with Trish Stratus? I'm assuming there was a lot of flirting between the two. Good stuff. Jacqueline with an in-ring performance of a 57. Lita with the 64. And Jazz with the 57. She's matching Jacqueline. She is getting better. No worker improvements in this matchup here as we move on to a 92 solid A rating as we are backstage with Michael Cole, who is standing by with Team America. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me at this time, Hulk Hogan, Bradshaw, and Kurt and Eric Angle. Now known as Team America, brother. That was a horrible Hulk Hogan. Team America it is then. I like that. I'm sure you do, Cole. Just as I'm sure that you and all the Hulkamaniacs out there like the fact that Hulk Hogan sent Triple H packing last night, Jack. But you gotta understand, Cole, the last thing I wanted to do is get someone fired. But Triple H left me with no choice. He was the one that said that the WWE doesn't have room for both him and Hulk Hogan, dude. And it wasn't about to be me, Jack. Triple H gave it his all, and he gave me one hell of a run for my money. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to pull out the win, but thanks to the support of Team America here and all the Hulkamaniacs around the world, Hulk Hogan got the W, and Triple H is off to a new all-elite Hulk, I'm sure. But that's enough talk about the end of the game. We got more important matters to talk about. Like how about the fact that Team America... This is a horrible Hulk Hogan, by the way, I apologize. Team America is being represented well in this year's King of the Ring tournament. Both Kurt and Bradshaw are in this tournament this year, and I'm betting that's going to come down to one of them in the semifinals. And I know damn sure one of them is walking out this year's King of the Ring, and who knows, maybe come the Royal Rumble, we could see Hulk Hogan versus Bradshaw, or Hulk Hogan versus Kurt Angle for the World Championship. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Turned into Macho Man there at the end, didn't he? That's when X-Pac and the rest of the clique show up. Oh, shut up already! Mocking Hulk Hogan here. Maybe we can see Hulk Hogan versus... You're dreaming if you think Bradshaw or Kurt Angle are going to win this thing. And you're smoking something funny if you think you're ever going to hold that world title again. That's when Kevin Nash steps up. Well, let's remind you that the Clique is also in this tournament, and if anybody is winning it, it's Pac or it's Shawn. In fact, it's you and me in round 1, Kurt, and I'm making it my personal mission to make sure you don't make it out of round 2. Or make it to round 2, excuse me. In fact, why even wait till round 1? Why don't we settle things right here and right now? That's when Kevin Nash pulls X-Pac back. Hold on, Pac. Don't get too excited, okay? Kurt, then, though, he's ready for a fight. You backing down from a fight there, Pac? Huh? Kevin Nash still trying to hold X-Pac back. No one's backing down from anything, Kurt. We're just biding our time. Now Eric, of course, has to step up. That's right, Kurt. They're scared that Team Angle will break their freaking ankles. Especially Big Kev. That's when Kevin Nash takes a bit of exception to what Eric said. You've got a big mouth. No one ever said anything about a tag match. I said no to a one-on-one match between Pac and Kurt. But if you two idiots want a tag match, then you're on. It'll be a good scouting match for Pac, right? That's right. That's even if you make it to our match, Kurt. Kevin Nash and X-Pac are going to walk off smugly as, maybe they got what they wanted, maybe they didn't. Nonetheless, they got Kurt Angle in a match here tonight, and they can do some heavy damage to Kurt before the match between him and X-Pac, but it could also happen vice versa. Hulk Hogan clearly enjoyed the freedom to go off script, as did Kurt Angle. Eric Angle was terrible, unfortunately, but what can you expect? Kevin Nash improvised well, and X-Pac worked the well crowd as well. So the only one that sucked here was Eric. Hulk Hogan was fantastic. There we go. This angle got the crowd hotter. Hogan was fantastic. Angle was excellent. Eric Angle did not come out of this looking good. Kevin Nash came across well. X-Pac looked dreadful. Damn, that sucks. Anyway, worker improvements. Kevin Nash learning to show more charisma. Interesting. 76 B- rating as we see Rhino walking backstage as he'll be in action next. And back from our commercial break, we have Rhino versus the Godfather. 79 solid B rating here. And a decent matchup. Rhino defeats the Godfather in 6 minutes 14 seconds with the pile driver after a distraction by Gregory Helms. We also had Val Venus kind of distract the Godfather, so I'm assuming what had happened here is during the match, Val Venus probably hyping up his fellow partner in the Pimp Party, the Godfather, and that led to Gregory Helms coming out, who has had a bit of an issue with the Pimp Party, all stemming from Tracy Brooklyn and Molly Holly's issues, but nonetheless, Gregory Helms comes out and takes it to Val Venus. Him and Val Venus brawl on the outside, which was a distraction to the Godfather, who more than likely was setting up for the Ho Train. Then finally, after being distracted by the two, goes after Rhino, who cuts him off, hits him with the pile driver. 1, 2, 3. Rhino wins the match. Of course, Godfather and Tracy Brooklyn have excellent chemistry with each other. That's awesome. Godfather with an in-ring performance of a 54. Rhino with a 90. I'm surprised that it doesn't say it pushed along the feud. Maybe I don't know why it didn't push along the feud between Pimp Party and Gregory Helms. Anyway. 84 B+ rating as Jim Ross stands up from the commentary table. He's got a mic in his hand, and he's looking to get some answers from Rhino before he leaves. Rhino, I want to ask you some questions before you head back. First things first, congratulations on your win. Damn shame that Mr. Helms had to get involved. That's all out of your hands. But let me just cut straight to the point. Last night, both you and Stone Cold Steve Austin lost the triple threat match against Goldberg. Now it's only been 24 hours, but we saw after WrestleMania that Steve decided to take a vacation, and no one has heard from him since last night. You wouldn't have happened to hear from him, have you? That's when Rhino smirks at JR, goes to walk away before JR grabs his shoulder. Damn it, Rhino! Just answer the question! Rhino shoves off JR's hand. Get your damn hand off of me. I haven't heard a damn thing from Austin, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn if I ever do again. Rhino leaves, leaving JR standing alone in the ring. Some harsh words from Rhino, who arguably owes a good portion of his career to Stone Cold here. He was his mentor, and Rhino doesn't care. He says he don't care if he ever sees Stone Cold ever again. Obviously, probably having a little bit of animosity towards probably Stone Cold joining that triple threat match. I don't know. Anyway, the performance of Rhino was good. And before we move on to the next segment, I want to kind of talk a little bit about Rhino and Stone Cold, because if a lot of you are wondering why it took me so long to get this episode up to you guys, well, to be quite honest, it actually took me a long time to get this episode booked. Now, it has been booked probably since January, I would say. But I would say probably around January is when I finally decided that I'm happy with where the episode was. The Rhino Stone Cold storyline, although we knew it was going to be happening, myself included here, I wasn't sure how I wanted to start it, like I wasn't sure where exactly I wanted to go with it. And I'm really not entirely sure still where I'm going with it. But, yeah, this is the main reason why it took as long as it probably has, because booking it alone, trying to figure out where, I must have redone the Rhino Stone Cold angles a dozen times before finally I decided, let's just do this and kind of leave it up to the wind until I finally decide 100% what I want to do. Nonetheless, moving on to our next segment. Jeez, tons of A's tonight. 92 solid A rating here as we are backstage in Mr. McMahon's office. And Vince McMahon is talking to Eric Bischoff. Let's send it to them. This isn't going to work, Eric. Trust me, Vince. I know the guy. He practically owes me his career. That's when we hear a knock on the door. I didn't want to hit my laptop too hard there. Knock on the door, and Eric with a big smile on his face. That's got to be him. Come on in. And that's when Goldberg walks in. You two wanted to see me? Bill, it would seem we've got a mutual enemy here tonight. Okay, stop, while you're ahead. I guess I didn't make myself clear enough out there. Just because you two have your issues with The Undertaker doesn't mean I'm involved in this. My only issue with the dead man is the belt around his waist. Anything else is between you guys. Now, if you'll excuse me. Yeah, that's fine. But Goldberg, before you go, whether you like it or not, you're involved in this now. And it's not good being on the outside of this. Goldberg kind of sizes up Vince, maybe gets a little in his face here. Is that some sort of threat? You can leave now. Goldberg stares back at Vince before smirking at him and just walking out. So things a little tense there. Goldberg making it very clear he doesn't want to deal with anything involving Bischoff and Vince McMahon's issues with The Undertaker. But according to Vince, it doesn't matter. You're already in it. Goldberg was terrible without a script to follow here. That's a shame. Eric Bischoff was superb without a script here. And Vince McMahon worked the crowd well. No worker improvements as we move on to our next segment. 75 B- rating, as tonight we will see our first match in round 1 of the King of the Ring tournament. And it's going to be a doozy. Tonight, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, representing the Clique, of course, takes on Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. First time ever matchup here tonight. It's going to be one hell of a match. 62 solid C rating as we send it back to Jonathan Coachman, who is backstage with the Pimp Party. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jonathan Coachman, and I'm backstage with the Pimp Party. And Godfather, you almost had it tonight. What an upset it would have been if you were able to pull out that win, but a distraction from Gregory Helms is all it took for Rhino to hit the Gore piledriver for the win. Helms and Molly have been a constant thorn in the side of the Pimp Party since the inception of your group. Why do you think that is? You got that right, Coach, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. The jealous. Molly is obviously jealous that Tracy's getting all this attention. Molly, you don't have any reason to be jealous of Tracy. You both beautiful, girl, and you're both welcome in the Pimp Party. And as for Helms, well, he's just along for the ride. A little pup on his leash being pulled around by Miss Molly, doing everything she tells him to do, because unlike my guy Val and I, he has no game when it comes to women. So he has to settle for what he can get. But you done messed up now, Gregory. Oh, you done messed up. A victory over Rhino tonight. Let me tell you, man. A victory over Rhino tonight. Come on, damn it. How far along do I have to go? Would have propelled me into the world championship contention. The pimp party has had enough of you and your girlfriend's antics. So here's how we're going to settle it. Next week, Helms, the pimp party, all three of us, versus the two of you. You're more than welcome to find a partner if you can. But either way, next week, we're ending this once and for all. Well, you heard it here. Godfather is pissed, and he has every right to. I mean, like he said, he almost had Rhino beat. Rhino was set up for the whole train, and a bit of a distraction from Gregory Helms there allowed Rhino to pull out the victory. And if Godfather would have been able to pull out that victory, it could have very well have propelled him into, possible contenderships for the World Championship. A victory over Rhino was a huge deal. Nonetheless, though, he didn't win, but next week we now know for sure. I'm getting word that it is being confirmed. We will see the Pimp Party versus Gregory Helms and Molly Holly, and if they are able to find a person to team with, it'll be a 6-man tag, but if not, it's a handicap match, and that's next week. Jonathan Coachman clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, as did the Godfather. Gained heat for the storyline as well. No worker improvements as we move on to our next segment here, which gets a 73 B- rating here. I thought it said Kurt looked lost out there for a second. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead of myself. And a decent matchup. Kevin Nash and X-Pac, the Click, defeat the Angles in 10 minutes, 14 seconds when X-Pac does the impossible and defeats Kurt Angle with a freaking tombstone? What? After a distraction from Eric Angle. Wow. A tombstone. I'm blown away. I would have never guessed X-Pac to pull out a tombstone, but he did. Okay. The way I'd imagine this to be going down is, Kurt probably has X-Pac in the ankle lock or whatnot, really about to win this matchup. Maybe he has Kevin Nash in the ankle lock, and of course, Eric being kind of distracting, like, give me the tag, come on. Maybe allowed X-Pac to recover, or Kevin Nash to get the tag to X-Pac, whatever you guys like. Then Kurt, of course, being like, no, dude, I got this. Turns around, gets a tombstone. X Factor's how I would have done it, but whatever. 1, 2, 3. X-Pac just beat Kurt Angle. Is this a sign of things to come? Kurt Angle, of course, was head and shoulders above everybody else. Eric Angle was the weak link. I don't think that comes off to a surprise to any of us here. Kurt Angle looked excellent out there. Eric with an in-ring performance of a 50. Kurt with a 91. X-Pac with a 59, and Kevin Nash with an 80. Unfortunately, this did lose heat for the storylines, but that is all right. Eric actually improving. Hell yes. Eric Angle improving in his technical skills. That is awesome. Moving on, 85 B+ rating here, as afterwards, the Click try to take out the Angles here, but of course, the numbers are against them, and Shawn Michaels ain't coming out tonight. He's got a big match to prepare for. So Team America come out to make the save. Hulk Hogan and Bradshaw come out, and that scares off X-Pac and Kevin Nash, who run off before any further damage could be done to them, and Team America stand tall in the middle of the ring. Kurt Angle, not Eric Angle. Kurt Angle came out looking excellent. Eric Angle was very underwhelming. X-Pac apparently performed poorly, but Nash was good, and Hogan was fantastic. And it gained the heat back up, so that's good. Just a generic little segment here, nothing too crazy. 68 C+ rating as Matt Hardy stands in the ring as we come back from our commercial break. Last night at SummerSlam, I successfully ended the debate on who is the better Hardy brother. And I successfully defended my hardcore championship. So I'm sure you're all wondering, where's the belt? Well, sadly, I was attacked from behind by a madman named the Sandman, who took advantage of a weakened Matt Hardy after I had successfully defended my belt in a ladder match, I may add. Well, Sandman, I'm a man of honor. I will not jump you from behind in a weakened state, but instead, I will challenge you here, right now. And if you truly are a man, and not the Sand Woman, Oh, man. I messed up my joke. Then come out and accept my challenge, or are you a Sandwoman? That was the joke. Anyway, Shannon Moore and Matt Hardy start to laugh at, of course, Matt Hardy's very bad Sandwoman joke before the arrival of the Sandman, who comes out, accepts Matt's challenge before taking out Shannon Moore with, of course, the Singapore Kane. So the Hardcore Championship is on the line. 75B minus rating here. And about that had decent wrestling, but not much weight and heat. The Sandman defeats Matt Hardy in 9 minutes, 58 seconds with a flying leg drop, making his first defense of the Hardcore title. So Matt Hardy may have, the complaints about him being jumped from behind, but there ain't no complaints here tonight. Sandman beats him, I wouldn't say cleanly because it is a hardcore matchup, but he does beat him, and he still is the champion. Matt Hardy with an in-ring performance of a 78. The Sandman with a 52. We move on to our next segment here. 87 B+ rating as we send it back to Michael Cole, who was with Rob Van Dam. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. Rob, after our next commercial break, you'll be in action against the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. If you lose, you're out of the King of the Ring tournament. But if you win, not only do you move on to round 2, but you've defeated one of the most decorated individuals in WWE history. Any nerves before you head out there? None at all, Cole. I like to keep a cool and calm state mind before I go out before any match, no matter the opponent. Besides, Jeff and I had a safety meeting not too long ago, so I'm chill, man. Shawn may be one of the best, but he's in the ring with the Rob Van Dam. And that's when Shawn Michaels and the Clique come walking up, and like that makes a difference. Look, kid, you've got skills. You both do, actually. But neither of you are on the level of the Heartbreak Kid. I'm a multi-time world champion. I'm the most decorated participant in this tournament. They might as well just hand me the damn trophy because we already know who's the odds-on favorite. So let me pull up my handy-dandy notepad here just to double-check, because they may call you Mr. Monday Nights, but I'm the Heartbreak Kid, kid. And tonight, I'm going to break your heart, kid. I was like, what the hell is this seg right here? I thought I did a little bit more, but I guess not. A little bit of back and forth here. I'd like to imagine there's a bit more of a back and forth, quite honestly. RVD maybe getting a little bit of a rebuttal. Shawn Michaels also getting a little bit of a rebuttal, but I guess that's all I wrote. I could have swore I did more, though. Anyway, Rob Van Dam looked good. Shawn Michaels was good. X-Pac was underwhelming as always, and Kevin Nash was fantastic. Gained heat for the storyline. That match is next, and it is our main event. Rob Van Dam, Shawn Michaels, first time ever, first round of the King of the Ring. Who's moving on? Damn, I was really hoping for like a B+ or a 90. Oh my God, they have great chemistry. Yes. 79, solid B rating. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get the rating that I wanted to, but that is all right. And about that had sensational wrestling and great heat to it. Shawn Michaels does it, but not without a hard-fought battle. He defeats Rob Van Dam in 18 minutes, 5 seconds. That's the problem. It should have been 20 minutes. I got to remember that. Because one of the things I've learned with TEW, and I should have learned this a long time ago, and I'm pretty sure I've already known this, but I never really thought it to be too true. But, anyway, sorry, I got a message. I was reading it. You can't have, I guess a match can't have a rating unless it goes 20 minutes or over, and this was 18 minutes. I did 18, plus the 2 minutes of entrances to make it a 20-minute matchup, but that is why that this did not get an A. I mean, it very well could have not gotten an A even if it did go over 20 minutes, because it didn't even get a B+, but that just, it wouldn't have gotten an A either way, so that's my bad. But anyway, sweet chin music hits. Shawn Michaels defeats Rob Van Dam, and he moves on to round 2 in the tournament. But what else is amazing here, and something that we're definitely going to have to visit, and this match should have done better. Look at those ratings. We're going to have to look at the dirt sheet. Rob Van Dam and Shawn Michaels have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. So not only are these two of the better wrestlers on our roster, but they have great chemistry, yeah, these two are definitely going to have some matches in the future. We might be seeing a future WrestleMania main event here, to be quite freaking honest. Anyway, Rob Van Dam had an in-ring performance of a 91. Shawn Michaels with a 99. What in the hell held this back? All right, let's see what we got. So far, everything is a plus. I've seen no negatives. Okay, here we go. So, short match length. They could have gone longer. It's understandable. I even said that myself. Should have gave them 20 minutes at least. Storyline's low heat. That's unfortunate, but what can you do? So the King of the Ring storyline just started due to lack of an associated hot storyline. So the storyline really seemed to have affected this. Along with the match length, if it wasn't associated with the King of the Ring storyline, this could have actually gotten an A. I have a high faith in a Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam feud in the future, though. This is going to be a WrestleMania main event one day. More than likely, if I keep doing this. And I plan to, so. Anyway, moving on to our next segment. We end off the night with a 100 A-star rating. As we're back from the commercial break, the flock stand in the ring as once again the ring is decorated for a memorial for Kane. Lights go out and the Undertaker's music begins to play. This time I'd like to imagine maybe a bit of a piano. And I said he rides his bike down, but you know what? Yeah, actually, you know what? Never mind. We're going to keep the bike in there. His music begins to play. Of course, the Undertaker rides down on his motorcycle. And what is on the headlight, but none other than Kane's mask, sits on the headlight. The lights, of course, may be shining through the eyes and the mouth of the mask. And kind of signifying that Kane is dead, or at least unmasked for sure. Riding around the ring so the lights shine through Kane's mask as if there is some life left in him. JR says as the Undertaker turns the bike off and this is what JR would say. Riding around the ring, the light shines through Kane's mask as if there is some life still in him. And then as the Undertaker turns the bike off, JR continues, and just like SummerSlam, the Undertaker turns the lights off once again, snuffing the flame of the big red machine. Once in the ring, the Undertaker takes to the podium. Last night at SummerSlam, all of you incoherent sheep witnessed the death of my brother Kane, my only living family left. Not only did I give my brother his last ride when I hit him with the Tombstone Pile Driver to retain the WWE Championship belt, I also hit that tombstone on Kane for the final time. Because the man that I once called my brother in destruction had become a shell of himself. Hold on. Tainted by the love from you people. But I ensured that my brother is gone for good. When I took that shell and I burned his mask right in front of his face. This blood doesn't land on me or my creatures of the night. It lands on Vincent Kennedy McMahon. If Vince would have been a man and handled his business, everything that happened to Kane wouldn't have happened. Not only have you taken the soul that was promised to me, but now you have even taken the soul of the only blood I had left. Your day of reckoning is on the horizon, McMahon. And the only question is, are you man enough to face it? Or you plan on sending me another soul that I must send to the devil himself? Come on, Vince. Be a man for once. And that is when The Undertaker and co. are suddenly interrupted by the music, not of Vince McMahon, but of the number one contender, Goldberg, who makes a way down to the ring with a mic in his hand. We are about to see, for the first time ever, Goldberg and The Undertaker interact. Well, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Bill Goldberg. But everyone else just calls me Goldberg for short. And you? You're next. And in case you don't know what that means, it means I've got you in my sights, dead man, and I'm not taking my sights off you until King of the Ring, because that's when you and I get to go on. Oh my God. Let me slow down. I'm having a hard time keeping up with myself here. Because that's when you and I get to go to war. And war? A war that you're going to lose, dead man. Because you're too worried about what Vince McMahon is doing that you haven't even realized that you'll be facing the most destructive man in the WWE.
So I'll say it once again. In case you don't know, I'm Goldberg. And I'm the guy who's going to beat you for that WWE Championship belt.
Taker smirks at him.
I know who you are, Bill Goldberg. You're the next soul on my list to collect.
That's when Taker takes off the belt.
You want this? Over my dead body. Get 'em, boys.
That's when Raven and Vampiro jump Bill Goldberg from behind while Daphne gets the Undertaker out of the ring into safety. Always looking out for her savior, I guess is what you can call the Undertaker. I'm not necessarily sure what the hell you would call him. Anyway, the Flock and Goldberg brawl. The numbers are against Goldberg at first, but Raven runs at Goldberg to hit him with the Intercontinental Championship. But he is caught by Goldberg's signature spear, and then he begins the brawl with Vampiro before overpowering and lifting up Vampiro to hit the jackhammer. Goldberg then stares down the Undertaker from inside the ring, just yelling at him, "You're next," to end off Monday Night Raw. Things are getting tense. All right. Hope it was worth the wait. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode there. Jim Ross, pretty weak. Jerry Lawler, pretty weak, because this was a damn good segment. Undertaker came out looking excellent. Goldberg looked good. And no worker improvements here. As we end off the show, we get ourselves a what? An 88 B+ rating here. I honestly kind of expected an A just because of all the A segments, but I'm sure the Shawn Michaels Rob Van Dam match not being a B+ kind of didn't give us that extra oomph we needed to shoot into the A ratings. But nonetheless, 88 B+ rating. Hell yeah. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope it was well worth the wait. If you guys have, do me a favor. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you have not already. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your friends, your family. It's been so long I can't even remember my damn intro. Don't forget to share this with your friends, your family, your Facebook, whatever, Twitter, Instagram. I don't give a damn. TikTok, share it around the world. Anyone you think would enjoy my content, give it a share. Help your homeboy get some new subscribers up in this bitch. Don't forget to check out the website. Order a t-shirt if you want. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. It will not be as long as the wait as the next one. I promise. I promise you guys, it will not be as long as the wait as the next time. And when I say that, I don't mean a month down the line. I'm going to try to get this video, guys, up to you guys in at least 2 weeks tops. So until then, have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.